What's up, gamers? Today we're going over a build theory for the new season of Fortnite. This season has brought us so many things. One of the biggest ones that have been added is the new medallions that will be giving you passive abilities. Because of that, we are starting to do this series just so you guys have an idea of what kind of playstyle you want to be going for. For the first one, we have decided to go with a high DPS damage build that will get you higher numbers of damage in a fight, as well as keeping sustainability on yourself so you stay in the fight. So without further ado, this is the Spartan build.
This is Sparta!
Let's start off by listing off some of the goals that we are going to be trying to reach with this build. 1 is going to be your overall firepower. 2 is going to be reaching the high ground so that you always have an advantage when going into a firefight. And 3 will be sustainability, where we are going to be focusing on keeping you alive in all of the fights that are ahead. These 3 will be the core goal of our build. Let's start off by heading to the underworld, where we will be facing off against Hades to acquire his medallion and unique item. First, we'll be going to the throne room, and in here you can see his chair, but he's not sitting there. Instead, what you're going to be looking for is a statue of Hades. Simply go up and interact with the statue, and you'll see that Hades appears in his chair. Now, there are 2 parts to this fight. First is having to fight off a wave of minions. While you are fighting these minions, there is a bar that is slowly filling up with each kill that you get at the top. Once this bar is filled, Hades will then come down from his throne to begin fighting you. He uses a chain attack that can grab you and pull you towards him. He has his Hades Harbinger SMG, which he will use consistently throughout the fight, as well as the ability to drain the life force of players around him. After you have dwindled his life bar down and finished him off, you will acquire his medallion, the Hades Harbinger SMG, as well as some random items that might be falling out. Now, the 2 main items that you're going to focus on are getting this medallion and his SMG. After acquiring these items, next you will be focusing on trying to get to the Ares medallion. Whether a team has already picked it up and you are searching for them, or if it's open and you're able to get there fast enough. Now, you can do these in any order that you want. I just found that going after the Hades medallion first will allow you to go through the river of the underworld. You gain charges of Hellish Dash. In case you didn't know, Hellish Dash is going to be those green skulls that appear around you while you're in any kind of water within the underworld. Simply double jumping will allow you to perform a dash forward, allowing you to get through large bodies of water extremely fast by simply repeating the dash as they refill every time you touch back down in the water. In case you decide to start with Ares and make your way to the underworld, I'll also go through what it's like to defeat the Ares boss. In a similar fashion, you're going to be landing at its location and going towards the middle part of the battlegrounds. Here you will be able to find the Ares statue, simply interact with it, and it will begin the same process as Hades. Simply go through and defeat the waves of enemies that spawn, filling up the bar, and once it's full, Ares will be dropping down right in the center of it. Now, he doesn't have as many abilities as Hades does. Instead, he's a bit more tanky, and his weapons do increase damage, thanks to his medallion. Simply defeat him, and you'll be able to acquire his 2 items, the Ares medallion, as well as the Ares Warforged assault rifle. Now that you know how to start and complete either of these bosses, and you also know the core medallions that we're going to need for this build, let's move on to the loadout. Let's go over what are the core components that you're going to be needing within your loadout. We will need a long range, mid-range, close range, mobility, and some type of sustainability in case we need additional healing. For long range, we have 2 different options. You can go with the Huntress DMR to have a faster fire rate and be able to put more bullets down range, or you can go with the Reaper Sniper Rifle for that 1-shot 1-kill potential. Next, in the mid-range, we have 2 options. You can go with the Warforged or the Nemesis, but the Nemesis only provides you with a little bit extra damage, while the Warforged is going to give you a larger magazine, faster reloads. For this reason, I highly recommend that you go with one of the Warforgers, especially if you acquire Ares Warforged Assault Rifle. Next, in the close range, if you decided to go with Hades, I would recommend taking the Hades Harbinger SMG, but a good alternative is going to be the Gatekeeper shotgun, simply because it has a very strong headshot damage output. For our last two categories, being mobility and sustainability, there are many options in the game that could fill these slots, but there are two added this season that are just, in my opinion, way better than the others. I'm of course talking about the Wings of Icarus and the Chug Splash. The Chug Splash is a useful item because you simply can throw it down on the ground and splash an area, healing not only yourself but your allies. And on top of this, it will refill your health bar and then your shield. So rather than carrying a med kit or a half pot, you can simply pick up this item and it'll work either your health or your shield. Now lastly, I would like to talk about the Wings of Icarus. Many of you have probably seen this and started using it already, but I just want to go over all the functions of these wings so that you have a great grasp of how to use them effectively. While you have these wings equipped, you can hit the fire button and soar up into the sky. As well, you can hit the fire button again to get a quick boost of speed that allows you to soar faster in the skies. Also, if someone is shooting at you, you can roll from side to side. You can perform a dive attack by hitting the aim button, which will allow you to dive bomb an area, destroying structures, as well as performing a shockwave that blows enemies back away from you. Another important thing to note that when you are flying with these wings, if you use your speed boost while in the air to come down towards an area, it will also perform a dive bomb. If you wish to land softly and quickly take out your weapon, you will instead need to simply glide on your landing. These wings are perfect for you to go out and take the high ground on your enemies. Rather than simply having to walk up the patches of grass up a mountain, simply fly up to it in a matter of seconds. The mobility of these wings, the damage from the Ares medallion and the loadout that you will have, as well as the sustainability from the Hades medallion and the Chug Splash, should provide you with all the tools you need to feel like a true Spartan out on the battlefield. And that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons and commenting on what you would like to see in my next video. Until next time, peace!